One of my favorite types of charcuterie is Bresaola. I absolutely love it. Just the flavors, the rosemary, the thyme, the juniper, the pepper, all of it is fantastic. Very rich. And I usually make this with beef Eye of round roasts, although a while back my very generous father-in-law hooked me up with an elk roast, and as I suspected, the beautiful gamey flavors of that meat played super well with the Bresaola, and it turned out amazing. Now, just the other day he hooked me up with this moose roast, and I gotta try it again and see how it turns out. So let's get it done. So I've unwrapped this roast and kind of patted it, well, mostly dry. And in looking at it, there are some parts I'm going to have to clean up here just because of how it was butchered there. It's going to take off some of these more kind of stringy pieces where that might cause a little bit of an issue down the road if there are little pockets. Mold could possibly take hold in there. I'm also going to go ahead and remove some of this membrane that's on here. Okay, so I did wind up here with a little handful of trimmings. No big deal. It's all in the name of hopefully ending up with a better piece of meat, finished product here. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to get a weight on this, and then I can measure and weigh out all of my, all of the cure and the spices that are going to go on this. So I got everything weighed out for my cure. So in this particular bowl here, I have 2.5% salt. So that's 2.5% of the weight of this. So it's 58.4 grams. I have 0.5% of just white table sugar, 0.24% cure number 2. And then in this one here, I have 0.5% peppercorns. I have 0.075% of dried thyme, 0.05% of dried rosemary, 0.05% of juniper berries, and 0.3% of garlic powder. And the second bowl here, I'm actually just going to pop into my handy spice grinder here. Give it a blitz. And that's going to help nicely better distribute everything here. I'm going to combine that with the spices and the cure and the salt and the sugar. And now it's time to add it to the meat. And here is my beautiful cure blend. It smells amazing. And I'm just going to go ahead and sprinkle it on here in this meat tub. This is a good way to try to get a bunch of this cure rub onto the meat without spilling it everywhere in my kitchen. Roll this around a little bit, and now it's time to get the bag. And my lovely second set of hands here. I'll try to tuck this in. Perfect, just like that. And now, because everything was weighed out and I've got some of this cure blend in here still, I'm going to get it out. All right, time to vacuum seal. And I don't need this completely vacuumed. In fact, it's good if there's just a little bit of wiggle room, which there will be here, just so that I can go ahead and massage, and some of the liquid that's going to come out of this meat will be able to get around. Now, I always do like to double seal these just to help prevent any possibility of it leaking at all. All right, and now I'm going to go ahead, just write down original weight, just for posterity's sake here, and writing down the date that I'm starting this all off. This is going to see probably about 4 weeks in the keg freezer. I could do it in the fridge as well, but I've got room in the keg freezer, so that's where this is going to go. That's more time than I need to actually physically cure this, but I want to give it some extra time. That's certainly not going to hurt it in any way, but it's going to allow these herbs and everything to really better penetrate and flavor this meat the way that I want it. So around 4 weeks is what I like to do for these sort of larger pieces of meat. So after 5 weeks, which was longer than I needed, but plenty of time for all of this sweet spice to get into this mousse, we are ready to go ahead and open it up. I'm just going to slice her open here with some scissors and pull it out. Here is that meat. Oh, smell it, buddy.
Oh man.
Oh yeah. Okay, we're gonna give this a quick rinse off with some water just to get some of the knobby spices and stuff off of here, and then we will be ready to finish prepping it up. Here we are, nicely rinsed off, ready to rock. You can see I've got a little bit of red wine in here. This is the second piece of meat I've been playing around with today. We're just using a little Cabernet Merlot blend here. I'm just going to splash a little bit of wine onto this and rub it onto the meat just for a little extra wininess. Ooh, there we go. Make sure it gets in everywhere. And now we can go ahead and prep up the casing and all of that that fun stuff. I've got a nice collagen casing here, and I'm going ahead and spraying that down with some prepared potassium sorbate, and that's just going to help prevent any sort of mold growth going on here. I do have some 1/2-inch hog rings and my hog ring pliers. I've got a nice stabby here so that we can help get rid of any little air pockets that are going on. And we've also got some netting. It's going to go onto this here after we've got this all covered up. So, if you can hear that, the children are having a great time upstairs. They are not being tortured.
Yet.
Yet! That's correct. All right, just wrapping that all around, and then go ahead and get this crimped up. There we go. We'll do the second side here. So there's a little less play going on. Nice! Okay, now using this pricker, just try and work the air out. Okay, we'll do some final pricking as well after this is into the casing.
Yeah.
Casing's going to be super fun, or the netting, sorry. The netting was soaking in vinegar here as well, just to kind of help prevent, I'll trim off a little of this excess, just to help prevent mold. Bad kind anyway, yeah. Think real wide. Try and squash it a little bit like that too. Totally changing the shape of the meat. Just totally fine.
That's two.
An acidic splash in the face. Whoops.
You got those goggles from the hot sauce videos?
Oh yeah, that would have been smart. And we'll go ahead and crimp the netting as well, just to kind of help hold it as it's hanging. It'll be less likely to try to pop out of the case, out of the netting here. And there we go. All right, so I'll also mention that we went ahead and labeled the meat as well as our original weight and our target weight. So we're going for 35% weight loss on this. I think it'd be really nice. Everything just got sprayed down with potassium sorbate on the exterior here. Again, just with the intention of reducing possible mold situations. And I'm just gonna tuck it in the back here because I do have other meat that I'm popping in here today as well. So there we are, in its home for now. The curing chamber is set up. I've got, it's at 70% relative humidity. It has a little fluctuation there. And we are aiming for around 52 Fahrenheit. And again, there's a little fluctuation with the fridge there. So that'll be perfect. So I wound up changing my mind on the amount that I wanted to lose here of water weight. And I took it to 50%. And that took just a couple of months here. Got a little bit of white mold started on here, but that's fantastic. So this is fairly dry on the outside. So I'm going to pop this into a vacuum seal bag, and I'm going to go ahead and vacuum seal this so that it can equalize. I'll probably let it sit in here for a month or so. All right, so I'm just going to label this here and get it into the fridge. All right, after patiently waiting, let's cut into this and see what we're working with here. So step number one is just going to be to peel off that sheet that's on here that was just helping regulate that moisture loss. Okay, so here we are, finished product. Let's cut in. And the interior. Look at that. Okay, we need to try this out. So I'm going to rip off some slices here using my Avatco 10-inch meat slicer. Let us... look at that. So nice and thin. Okay, we got to taste this. Okay, going to have a little nibble here. This meat is so rich and so flavorful. This is a great example of why I like to take wild game and cure it to make a very flavorful charcuterie using all those herbs. We had the juniper, there was the thyme, the rosemary, the black peppercorns, the garlic, everything like that. Plays so nicely with those flavors, and you just wind up with this. I'm going to have another piece here. Just with this super, super delightful charcuterie. Taking it to that 50%, so that was like on the extreme end of dry aging. But I am a huge fan of the Landjäger that we make, and we like to use either elk or moose for that around here too. It also has a lot of super fun, bold flavors in that, and we dry the heck out of that too, usually between 45 to 50%. So I wanted to try something similar, and I am absolutely not disappointed. This is super fabulous. I'm gonna eat this whole piece here. So yeah, if you can get your hands on some wild game and you have the ability to cure it and dry age, definitely try this. It's a super, super fun project, really delightful, not super common either. So you can kind of, please all the friends and surprise them and let them try something new. So till next time, keep it at 11.